Page 15, Halloween. Well, at the top of the page, they're introducing you to flats. So hang on to your socks, because now we're going to start using the black keys also. Hopefully, you already know the names of the keys for the white keys, and that's based on where they are in relation to the black keys. Remember, we've been through this. A C is at the lower of a group of 2, and F is at the lower of a group of 3, and you can find all the other notes in relation to the black keys. And by now, those names of these keys should be pretty much automatic to you. If you've been using stickers on your keyboard to remind you where they are, I would encourage you to take them off. You got to get away from the stickers, and the sooner the better. So just take them off and learn where the keys are in relation to the black keys. The black keys, we know what those are because they're in relation to the white keys. It works back and forth. So let's talk flats. They show you what the sign looks like at the top. It's that little, it looks like a B, a lowercase b, sort of, a weird one. And it simply means you change the note on the keyboard down, go down. One key, white or black. One key. That's what a flat does. That's all it does. It just changes the note down on the keyboard, one key. So forget the music for a little bit. Let's just play around with the keyboard. Here. If I have an A, any A, doesn't matter, and I want an A flat, I go down one key, white or black, this one. So that is an A flat. I know the name of this key because it's in relation to the white key, because A flat is right below A. If I have a G, and I want a G flat, I go down one key. And that is a G flat. If I have a B, and I want a B flat, I go down one key, white or black. A B flat. Hang on. If I have an F, and I want an F flat, and there is such a thing, I go down one key, white or black. That is an F flat. And you say, wait a minute, I'll give you a moment to recover, it's okay. That's an E. What are you talking about? Well, every key on the keyboard, white and black both, have more than one name. Don't you love it? You want to get, take a pill or something and recover, that's fine, I'll give you a moment. But it all makes sense, so we'll figure it out. The point is, this note is an E, it's also an F flat. This note is a B, it's also a C flat. And yes, there is such a thing as a C flat on a keyboard. Now, technically, it's not exact. But a piano can't be exact. It's got to kind of even out. That's what they call a well-tempered tuning. It's where they kind of even out these notes so that it makes it. So we're calling it, and this be a C flat on piano, but technically, as far as the pitch goes, a C flat is actually a little bit flatter than that, just a hair. It's not all the way down to there, but it's just a hair flatter. We can't do that on piano. We got to even out the tuning. So we do this, it's close enough. And when it appears in the music like they're doing, it will appear right in front of the note. Now, this flat sign is called an accidental. There are other accidentals and we'll get to them. Just keep in mind it's called an accidental because the rules for accidentals, it's the same for all the accidentals. It's not an accidental because it's accident. It's an accidental because it's temporary. Look at Halloween in the first measure. You see the B and the B flat there? The rule is, and people don't agree on this either, but I'll talk about it. It is good from that point on for the rest of the measure in that staff. So in Halloween, that first B flat here is good for the rest of the measure. So both of those B's in Halloween are flat. So that Halloween, the first measure, they're there. But only that measure. The next measure, if there were another B in it, it would be a natural because it's in a different measure. Now the part where people don't agree on. And I share this with you because you may be talking to people and just let them believe what they want. I have been on both sides of this argument, and it doesn't work no matter what you do. As a piano player, we need the flat sign on every octave or every time up and down where that appears. Because you haven't had the notes yet, but there's a lot of B's on the piano. And they could notate these B's in the music. Well, if you have these other B's in addition to that one in the music, you have other B's written in. We need a flat in front of those B's also. But if you were to talk to a violin player or someone like that, they would say, no, that B is good for every B. You don't need another flat in front of the others. And I say that because I had a discussion with a violin teacher, player, very good, very knowledgeable, excellent teacher. And she insisted, oh no, you're wrong. That B is good for all of them. Well, piano players, we need it on every time that a B appears in the music that is in a different place, we need the flat sign in front of them. Just keep it in mind. If you're writing music, be clear. So put the flat in front of wherever it is where it's needed. Other than that, it's good for the rest of the measure. Now, I may have totally confused you with that, but I'll talk about it more as we go through these books and we actually see this in action. And you'll see these other, I'll come back and talk about it. For now, just focus on this B flat. Now, the finger we typically will use on this, in this position, this is the only B we have, is we'll go ahead and use the same finger on the flat as we did on the white. So here we're going to use second on B. We'll go ahead and use second on B flat. That doesn't always work, but that's sort of the first thing you do when you're trying to figure out a fingering. That's the first one you'll choose. And then if it doesn't work, you got to figure out something else. So Halloween, let's look this over. It's a little over a line long, I guess. Treble, bass, clef, 4/4 time. I see quarter notes, half notes, and whole notes. We can do all that. For the most part, it's one hand and the other playing, so I'm going to take both hands together to shorten the video a little bit. The left hand starts, thumb here, and the position is here. Even though it has a B flat in it, the position is here, and I'll explain more why that's the case a little later. I don't want to confuse you anymore, and I already have. There's plenty of time for confusion later. We'll save some for that later. Right now, just understand it's the white key, and when you get to the B flat, you're going to move the index finger where it needs to go. And then the right hand is here, so we're still in middle C position. Here. And so it's here, and then that key. Because after I'm done with that, I'm bringing that back out here. And then the right hand, and then you have them together, an A and an F, here. And you do that again, and then the last two measures there, the second line, it's a B flat and an E, and the B flat's a whole note, hold it down. And then an A and an F again. Now you're going to hold the left or the right hand down, it's a whole note as you play that. So it's there, that's how that works. And again, you want to get to where you can play this without looking at the keyboard. You want to be able to feel this and know it's there without looking. Again, we're getting an idea what the keyboard feels like and where things are. So go through and get rid of the hesitations, and we'll think about the interpretation. Natural accents. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Exaggerate them if you have to. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Eventually, though, you don't want to exaggerate them. You just want to feel them. One. Imagine people dancing to it. 1. You just want to feel this. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, I do that fast. I go faster because I can feel it more easily if I do that. That doesn't mean how I'm going to play it. I'm just kind of getting an idea of what it feels like. Then the phrasing. Well, they've got sentences here, so we can do that. The first phrase is that's one, could be one phrase, but you see a comma at the second measure. See, that could be two phrases there. A statement and a reply. The statement, reply. So I can do that way. I can split it up. Or if I don't like the short phrases, I could combine it all into one. There are different ways of interpreting the music. It's really ultimately up to you and what you like. In this case, it kind of depends, I think, on how fast I'm going to go as to where I'm going to phrase it. If I go slow, I can phrase it. It makes sense. I can do that. I can split that up and have separate phrases. But if I go fast, to me, I want to combine it. It's a personal thing. You'll have to decide how you're going to interpret it, however it is. Maybe one time you play it one way and one time you play it another. Just experiment with it. And then as far as bringing out the melody, well, where is the melody? Well, that. So this A in the lower, this is second line, second measure here. That A, that's not melody, so I'm going to play that really soft. So I'm going to have more weight on this and a little weight on this. At time, I feel a little lopsided here. Got more weight on one hand than the other. It's something we have to develop in piano, and you'll get it. So I'm asking you to start now if you're getting this okay. If you're struggling to get the notes and all, then forget this. We got enough to deal with. Otherwise, this is a little louder than this. I want to hear that. That's melody. Same thing at the last measure. Here, that's melody. This, saw. So, I want to hear that. If you can, bring out the melody. That's how I might play it this time. With a few more cups of coffee, I would play it a little differently because I play it as I feel it. How do I feel it? To me, that's what makes music interesting. It's felt. How do I feel it right now in this instance? I may never play it this way exactly like this again. That's fine with me because every time I play it, it's a new adventure, a new feeling. Let's play it together very slowly just to check the notes and the rhythms. I'm going to phrase it. I think when we go slow like this, I'm going to phrase it every 2 measures. I'm going to lift up for the phrasing. Yeah. But I'm going to play both hands about the same. I'm not going to bring out the melody. I want you to hear all the notes. You should play the same notes I'm playing at the same time I'm playing them. I'll give us 4 counts. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4.